جاءنا نذير فكذبنا وقلنا ما نزل الله من شيء إن أنتم إلا في ضلال كبير. وقالوا لو كنا نسمع أو نعقل ما كنا في أصحاب السعير فاعترفوا بذنبهم فسحقا لأصحاب السعير. إن الذين يخشون ربهم بالغيب لهم مغفرة وأجر كبير. وأسروا قولكم أو اجهروا به إنه عليم بذات الصدور. ألا يعلم من خلق وهو اللطيف الخبير. هو الذي جعل لكم الأرض ذلولا فامشوا في مناكبها وكلوا من رزقه وإليه النشور. أأمنتم من في السماء أن يخسف بكم الأرض فإذا هي تمور أم أمنتم من في السماء أن يرسل عليكم حاصبا فستعلمون كيف نذير. ولقد كذب الذين من قبلهم فكيف كان نكير. أولم يروا إلى الطير فوقهم صافات ويقبض ما يمسكهن إلا الرحمن إنه بكل شيء بصير. أمن هذا الذي هو جند لكم ينصركم من دون الرحمن إن الكافرون إلا في غرور. أمن هذا الذي يرزقكم إن أمسك رزقه بل لجوا في عتو ونفور. أفمن يمشي مكبا على وجهه أهدى أمن يمشي سويا على صراط مستقيم. قل هو الذي أنشأكم وجعل لكم السمع والأبصار والأفئدة قليلا ما تشكرون. قل هو الذي ذراكم في الأرض وإليه تحشرون. ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين. قل إنما العلم عند الله وإنما أنا نذير مبين. فلما رأوه زلفة سيئت وجوه الذين كفروا وقيل هذا الذي كنتم به تدعون. قل أرأيتم إن أهلكني الله ومن معي أو رحمنا فمن يجير الكافرين من عذاب أليم. قل هو الرحمن آمنا به وعليه توكلنا فستعلمون من هو في ضلال مبين. قل أرأيتم إن أصبح ماؤكم غورا فمن يأتيكم بماء معين. الله رب العالمين. صدق الله العظيم.
صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله وسلم عليك يا حبيب الله. क्या बताऊं اس کی آنکھوں کا نور تو دیکھو، اس کی آنکھوں کا نور تو دیکھو، جس کا دیکھا ہوا مدینہ ہے، جس کا دیکھا ہوا مدینہ ہے، کیا بتاؤں کیا بتاؤں کیا بتاؤں کہ کیا مدینہ ہے، کیا بتاؤں دل میں اب کوئی آرزو ہی نہیں، دل میں اب کوئی آرزو ہی نہیں، یا محمد ہے یا مدینہ ہے، یا محمد ہے یا مدینہ ہے، کیا بتاؤں کہ کیا مدینہ ہے، کیا بتاؤں دنیا والے تو درد دیتے گئے، دنیا والے تو درد دیتے گئے، زخمی دل کی دوا مدینہ ہے، زخمی دل کی دوا مدینہ ہے، کیا بتاؤں دل فدا ہے مدینے والے پر، دل فدا ہے مدینے والے پر، دل منور میرا مدینہ ہے، دل منور میرا مدینہ ہے، کیا بتاؤں کہ کیا مدینہ ہے، کیا بتاؤں کہ کیا مدینہ ہے، کیا بتاؤں
صلوا على الحبيب.
Honorable ulama, respected elders, innocent youth, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. With love and enthusiasm all together inshallah Azza wa Jal. As-salatu was-salamu alayka ya Rasulullah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Habiballah. As-salatu was-salamu alayka ya Nabi Allah وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا نور الله. نويت سنة الاعتكاف. Our beloved Aka, Madanikamokibahare Mustafa sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam has mentioned in summary of Hadith Mubarakah that when Thursday arrives, Allah Azza wa Jal sends angels who have scrolls of silver and pens of gold. They write down the person's name who sends salawat upon Aka sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam in abundance during Thursday and Friday. Subhanallah. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Salatu wa salamun alayhi ya Sayyidi ya Habibi ya Rasulullah. Alhamdulillah, my dear Islamic brothers, as we all know that this is the month of Rabiul Afia, and which we also know it as Rabiul Ghos. Alhamdulillah, not so long ago on the 11th of this month, we celebrated the Urs of the crown of all the saints, the Urs of Hazrat Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jailani rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi. Inshallah, we will listen to few characteristics, few important advices from his lifestyle, inshallah. Hafiz Abu al-Abbas Ahmad states that once I accompanied Allama Abdul Rahman al-Jawzi rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi to a gathering. In that gathering, Hazrat Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi was present. The Qari was reciting Quran, and then Hazrat Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi started explaining the commentary of this ayat of Quran. So he says, I asked Hazrat Allama Ibn al-Jawzi that, do you know the commentary of this ayat of Quran? And he said, yes, I know the commentary. Then Hazrat Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi ta'ala gave another commentary of the same ayat. So he says, I asked Hazrat Allama Jawzi rahmatullahi ta'ala that, do you know this commentary? And again he answered, yes. It went on and on and on until they came to the 11th commentary of the same ayat of Quran. And he asked him that, Allama Jawzi rahmatullahi ta'ala, do you know the commentary of this ayat? And he said, yes. Then Hazrat Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi ta'ala gave the 12th commentary of that ayat of Quran. Hazrat Allama al-Jawzi rahmatullahi ta'ala says that this commentary I am not aware of. Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi ta'ala went on and on and on until he came to 30 commentaries of the one ayat of Quran. Subhanallah. And still Hazrat Allama al-Jawzi rahmatullahi ta'ala was not aware of this commentary. Subhanallah, it still went on up until it reached the 40th commentary of that ayat of Quran. Subhanallah. And Hazrat Allama al-Jawzi was still not aware from the 12th commentary up until the 40th commentary. Subhanallah. صلوا على الحبيب صلى الله تعالى على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. صلاة وسلام عليك يا سيدي يا حبيبي يا رسول الله. Dearest Islamic brothers, let us understand something, that generally when a person prepares a lecture, when a person prepares a speech, when a person prepares a discourse, when the ustad prepares his lesson, he needs to take many books, many kitabs, he needs to do research. Sometimes they put points together and prepare points, so you remember those points as you lecturing. Like today, the lecture is prepared in front of us. But if we look at Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani, why since the Qadi was reading Qiraat, he picked up an ayat from Quran and started commentary. Not only 1, 2, 3, he carried on up to 40 commentaries with the narrators. Subhanallah. This shows us that the deep love Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani had for the noble Quran. Now, we need to ask ourselves a question. We are lovers of awliya. We are lovers of Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani. But we need to follow in his footsteps. Leave alone memorizing the Quran. Memorization of the Quran, one side. We need to ask ourselves the question, that do we correctly? Do we know the surahs of Quran with proper makharij and tajweed, so that when we stand and pray our salah in front of Rabb Allah Azza wa Jal, we are sure that our pronunciation, our recitation is correct? Inshallah Azza wa Jal, we should make an effort. We should make an effort. Because many of us seated here, we know how to drive. But when we were little boys, like the youth that is present, we didn't know how to drive. But we made an effort. We made an effort to learn what is a steering wheel. We made an effort to learn what is an accelerator, what is the brake, what is the clutch, how to change the gears, and what is an automatic vehicle, when to turn, how to check. Sometimes we even paid money for it, to go for lessons, to learn how to drive. The mobile phone. When phones came out first in South Africa, I remember correctly, I think it was around 93, 94, 95. The big phone where you put out the aerial, open the flap, put a brick by your ear. Then later on it improved. Today we have, mashallah, smartphones. And smartphones are really smart. So we made an effort to learn the phone. Be it the Samsung today or any other made iPhone tomorrow, or back in the day Ericsson, whatever it was, we moved with the times. We moved with the times. When it came to business, no matter how much of school education the person has, back in the day it was the norm in South Africa that when a person reaches grade 3, or that time was standard 3, I think now it's grade 5, grade 7, grade 8, sometimes grade 10, they would leave school. They would leave school and help the father in the business. Or times were tough. I think we as Jews got it very easy to embrace time. So times were tough, they had to leave school to start business or help in the business. Even when it came to business, no matter what grade we went to in school, we know what is profit, we know what is loss. We know which items will give us profit and which items will give us a loss. So these explanations that I'm giving you is that we take and make every effort to learn that which is essential in our lives, correct? But how much of effort are we making to learn the Quran, the correct pronunciation of Quran? We should also make an effort, inshallah, is now for the English-speaking communities, Islamic brothers, Kanzul Iman is translated into English. Alhamdulillah, there is many good. Miftahul Ihsan by Mufti Abdul Nabi Hamidi also translated in English. We should take these translations, understand the writings of Allah Hazrat, Rahmatullahi Ta'ala, and read the Quran, read the translation of the Quran. Inshallah, by reading the translation of the Quran, we will fall in love with the message. And inshallah, in this way, we will also fall in love with correcting our recitation of the Quran. Say inshallah. Inshallah. My dearest Islamic brothers, the leader of the saints of Islam, Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jailani Rahmatullahi Ta'ala. Let's touch on a few points of this personality, Rahmatullahi Ta'ala. That he was born on the 1st of Ramadan, 470 AH, in an area called Baghdad. In an area called Jailan, near Baghdad Sharif. His name was Abdul Qadir, and it was also Mahbub Subhani, Ghaus-e Azam, Ghaus Thaqalain, as some of his titles that is commonly known by. Mashallah, he was a Hassani and Husseini Sayyid. And his family was also known to be very pious, subhanAllah. His mother's name was Sayyida Fatima, and she was also known as al Khair. His father's name was Sayyid Musa, and he was also known as Abu Saleh. One of his titles was also Jangi Dost. His noble father, Hazrat Sayyid Abu Saleh Musa, was also a wali of his time. Subhanallah. My dearest Islam, he was born. Even his childhood was not that of any ordinary child. He was born on Monday, the 1st of Ramadan, as we mentioned earlier, at the time of Fajr. And when he was born, they saw his Mubarak lips moving, subhanAllah. When they went closer to hear what Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jailani, we are talking about newborn baby. Newborn baby. The lips is already moving. But what is the lips saying? Allah, 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 Allah. Subhanallah. This is Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jailani. Hazrat Shaykh Abdul Haq Muhaddith Jaldi Rahmatullahi Ta'ala writes, he says, in terms of miracles, karamat, none of the great awliya, great saints can match him. To the extent that some of the shuyukh say that the miracles of Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jailani are like a string of pearls. When he breaks, another one falls off. So his miracles are like that. When he performs one, it is repeated by another. Hazrat Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jailani possessed countless of qualities. The blessings of his name alone are so great, subhanAllah, that one attains protection from animals wherever he is mentioned. If the blessings of his name is that prevents wild animals from attacking and causing harm to us, then what can be said about the blessings and miracles of this actual being? Subhanallah. It is mentioned on page 36 of Karamati Sahaba, published by Faizan-e-Madina, that if an ordinary occurrence which is not habitual, observed, emanates from a righteous believer, it is known as a Karamat. If such occurrence manifests from the Holy Prophets before the announcement of prophethood, it is called Irhas. And if it happens after the announcement of prophethood, it is known as mu'jiza. If this comes from a common believer, it is referred to as ma'una. And if something like this comes from a non-believer, in agreement with that which he desires, it is known as istijraj. Istijraj. So there are many karamat of Huzur Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi ta'ala. One day Hazrat Shaykh Salih Ismail bin Ali states that when Hazrat Shaykh Ali bin Hiti rahmatullahi ta'ala would fall ill, he would sometimes come to his land and spend some days there. Once he fell ill there, and Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani came from Baghdad Sharif to visit him. Both of them met on the land. He said, this land of mine had 2 date palm trees. These date palm trees dried up, and they were already intending to cut these trees down. But when Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi ta'ala came to visit on that plot or farm, and exactly where those 2 date palm trees was, he made wudu under those trees. After making wudu, he performed 2 rakats salah. And the narrator says, in the same week, the trees began to give fruit. Subhanallah. And he says that this was not the season of dates. This was not the season of dates, but the trees gave fruit. He said, I took some of this fruit or this kajur, this dates, and I went to give it as a gift to Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi ta'ala. When I came and I presented this dates to him, he made dua in the court of Allah Azza wa Jal that Allah Azza wa Jal place blessings in his land, increase his wealth, and increase the volume of his crops. Subhanallah. He says that from that year, my land began to produce 2 to 4 times more. He said, whenever I spent any wealth, I would receive it back manifold. He said, sometimes from my crops, I would make wheat and fill maybe approximately 100 bags. He says, we would use 50 bags in the house. We would use 50 bags in the house. But after using about 50 bags, when we look at the bags, it's 100 stuff. He said the animals of the farm, the animals of the plot, would give more milk than normal, and they would produce more offspring. Subhanallah. So this is proving a karamat. Subhanallah. With the blessings of Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani, we must be thinking to ourselves that how is it possible that he, rahmatullahi ta'ala, received this high status? How did he receive this status? He received this status because of striving, mujahada, fighting against shaitan and his nafs. He fulfilled his fard, his obligatory and necessary acts of ibadat without delay. He kept fast from the time he was born. When he began his official Islamic education at the age of 4 or 5, which we know this incident, when the Ustad taught him, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, then he continued, Surah Fatiha, Alif Lam Mim, Sayaqul, Tilka Rusulu, Lan Tanalul Birra, and so on until he completed the 18th para. When they asked him, why did you stop? He said, because when I was in the womb of my mother, she memorized 18 paras. So this is how I know 18 paras. So he's no ordinary child. Ordinary child? No ordinary child. For 40 years, for how many years? 40 years. He made Fajr Salah with the wudu of Isha. But not because he played PS5 all night. Not because he played Xbox all night. Oh youth, listen carefully. Today's time we can read, you can say that I can read Fajr with the Isha wuzu. Why? Because whole night on the games or on the cell phone. No. Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani Rahmatullahi Ta'ala for 40 years read Fajr Salah with the Isha wuzu. Why? Because he stayed up all night in the worship, in the ibadat of Allah, reciting Quran, dhikr, reading Salah. Whenever he would exit, whenever he went out of the state of wudu, he would immediately make wudu again. And after performing wudu, he will perform 2 rakat salah of tahiyatul wudu. Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani Rahmatullahi Ta'ala would offer 1,000 rakats of nafil salah daily. Subhanallah. More than 500 non-Muslims accepted Islam in his hands. More than 100,000 robbers. More than 100,000 robbers, thieves, transgressors, corrupt people, those people who were indulged in major sin, repented, made tawbah in the court of Allah Azza wa Jal, and came onto the right path. Subhanallah. This is because of the company of the Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Salatu wa salamun alayhi ya Shaykh Abu al-Abbas Qidam Rahmatullahi alayhi states, night we were in the madrasa of the Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani in Baghdad, when one of his khalifas came to him, greeted him with salam, asked for some advice, thereafter presented 10 purses. So in those days, they never carried real wallets, they carried leather pouches with gold coins inside. So they call it purses or pouches. So he presented 10 purses of money in front of Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani. And he said, I have no need for what is in your hand. But the Khalifa didn't want to take no for an answer. He insisted that please accept this gift. So Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani Rahmatullahi took one pouch in his right hand and took another pouch in his left hand, and he squeezed both of them. And what fell out? Blood started dripping from those pouches. Then he said to his Khalifa, do you not feel shame in front of Allah Azza wa Jalla for coming to me with the blood of the people? My dearest Islamic brothers, this shows us that Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani Rahmatullahi alayhi, even when the gold, the wealth and the gold of the world was presented in front of him, he was not interested. He was interested in his ibadah to Allah Azza wa Jalla. This is why he reached this rank. And remember that Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani Rahmatullahi Ta'ala was not scared to correct the wealthy. Was not scared to correct the wealthy. So we should take a lesson from this, that it is a very important lesson. In today's time, if a person is poor, we greet him with salam. And if a person has money, assalamu alaikum, who are we really greeting? You know, there is a narration that once there was a person, he was very poor. He had no money, he had no wealth, he had no possessions. When he used to walk in the street in the town, nobody greeted him. Nobody made salam alaikum. Something happened, Allah Azza wa Jalla blessed him, and he got a lot of wealth, mashallah. Alhamdulillah. So when Allah Azza wa Jalla blessed him, now when he used to walk in the street, everybody used to greet him. Assalamu alaikum, how are you? Are you better? Everybody makes salam. So at night when he used to go, he used to open the safe, take out all his money, put it there, say Shahid gave salams, Zaid gave salams, Bakr gave salams, so and so gave salams. Because when he never had the wealth, who made salam with him? Now when he's got the money, everybody's making salam with him. So who are they really greeting? Are they greeting him or greeting the money? They're greeting the money. So always remember that no matter the person's status, no matter the person's status, no matter the person's wealth, if he makes a mistake, we should correct it. And inshallah, if we do it, we will get a lot of lessons also. Hazrat Shaykh Abdullah al-Jubai states that one Hazrat Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi ta'ala, he said to me, according to me, feeding the hungry and needy people with good manners, good akhlaq, are perfect and superior deeds. Subhanallah. Then he said, money does not remain. Who said this? Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi ta'ala. He says, money does not remain in my possession. If I have 1,000 dirhams in the morning, then not even 1 dirham will remain at night. I would distribute everything I have to the poor and needy and feed them. Subhanallah. Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi ta'ala, his son, he says, after my father became well known, he only performed Hajj once. He says during the journey with the Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi ta'ala, he held the reins of the animal, of the horse. When we came close to Makkah Sharif, when they came to an area near Makkah, not Makkah Sharif, it was more of a deserted area. Then Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani told his son, who was holding the reins of the horse, that find the poorest home. Find the poorest home. So they found a house that was like a hut, straw hut. And Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi ta'ala got off there and he went to knock on the door. There was an old man, old woman, and they had a little daughter. But very, 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 very poor, nothing to eat. Now they were worried as to how they were going to entertain Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani. But when the rest of the town heard that Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi ta'ala is in town and in this particular place, so they all came there to request him, Hazrat, please come to our house, it's more comfortable, things are easier there. He refused. He said, no, I will stay in this home. Subhanallah. While staying there, then obviously people would now want to entertain him, want to bring him things. So people brought lots of food to eat. Some brought some animals there. Some brought some different items. So Hazrat Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi ta'ala, he told this family that this is for you. The animals that were brought, he left it behind. Then the time of Hajj ended. And many years later, the son of the Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi ta'ala, he says, I was traveling on this route again. I passed by this town again. And when I went to this town, I saw that same poor family have now become the richest family. Subhanallah. So he says, I asked him, how is it possible? He said, the very same animals that were left, were given to your father, Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi ta'ala, and he gave it to us as a gift. These animals produce so much that we could sell off the animals and eat from it. Today he has become the richest person. Subhanallah. My dearest Islamic brothers, this is why it's very important that we should connect ourselves to a spiritual leader, but not just any ordinary spiritual leader, a righteous spiritual leader. And inshallah Azawajal, this will benefit us in this world and in the year after. Inshallah Azawajal, our iman will be protected. And in today's time, Alhamdulillah Azawajal, Thumma Alhamdulillah Azawajal, we have Shaykh Tariqat, Amir Ahl Sunnat, Hazrat Maulana Ilyas Attar Qadri, Damat Barakatumul Aliyah. Many years ago, I heard a lecture by my Nigran of South Africa, Haji Aslam Faizu, when he said the small boats are okay, but the big ship of Dawud Islami is going to Madina Sharif. I thought to myself, what is he talking about? Which small boats are okay? And which big ship of Dawud Islami going to Madina Sharif? But Alhamdulillah, 90 years later, which I wish it was earlier, I understand it now. Because when my Pir Murshid Hazrat Maulana Ilyas started, our Baba Jan says, Har Sahabi and Nabi Jannati Jannati. When he makes one slogan, then we see, really we see what's happening. So Alhamdulillah, my dearest Islamic brothers, this is the message tonight, that connect yourself with a spiritual leader. A spiritual leader who will look into the heart. You see, mashallah, the pocket is here in front of the heart. You see, even the tailors are very clever. Tailors are very clever. The pocket is here. So why? Put paisa here. Right? Why? Shaitan wants them to put the pocket here, so you put paisa here, so paisa enters the heart. No. Take the paisa out from this pocket and put it in the other pockets, but never put the paisa here. Put paisa under the bed, put it on top of the wardrobe, in the cupboard, in the bank, in the safe, everywhere, but never put in the heart. Why? Because heart is for Allah Azza wa Jalla, is Muhammad Habib sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that is your spiritual leader. He will look past this pocket and into the heart. But the one that looks, the spiritual leader that looks into the pocket doesn't see your heart, then it's a problem. Change him. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Salatu wa salamun alayka ya Sayyidi ya Habib ya Rasulullah. May Allah Azza wa Jalla make us from amongst those who are able to understand the lifestyle of the Shaykh Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi ta'ala, read his biography and understand. There's many beautiful kitabs, Bahjatul Asrar and many others. Now it's also available in English, Islamic brothers, mashallah, it's available in English. Read his books, understand his work, understand his character, understand how he strived to attain the closeness of Allah Azza wa Jalla. And inshallah Azza wa Jalla, we can also attain those ranks of being close to Allah Azza wa Jalla by following the Sunnah of Aga sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. Alhamdulillah Azza wa Jalla makes an announcement, and that announcement is that we have our beautiful Madanikamokibahare, which is just outside of Faizan-e-Madina. It is a humble request that we visit Madanikamokibahare, and we see new books are coming all the time. And mashallah, these books are written by Amir Ahl Sunnat. It's very inspiring. And visit Maktaba, see what new books are available. Buy some books for Langar. Langar is not only feeding food, Langar is also, we can distribute Langar as knowledge, inshallah. So buy some of these books, give it to your friends and family, give it out, maybe take a few and put it in your shop for free distribution. And inshallah support our Maktabatul Madina, see the items they have, and inshallah this will also be beneficial for us. Inshallah alhamdulillah, as we know, recently we had a Madanikamokibahare, we had a beautiful weekend where we spent here and learned so much under the guidance of our Madanikamokibahare department, our beloved Haji Tahir Bhai, Haji Amir Bhai, when Abdul Hanan Bhai was here, mashallah, and I'm sure most of us learned a lot from them. So inshallah, they want to increase Madanikamokibahare. So Madanikamokibahare will be traveling to Lodi, inshallah, to tomorrow 10 o'clock inshallah. From Faizan-e-Madina, our Amir Bhai is here, and inshallah we should all try to join these Madani Kafilas. And if not, if the announcement is made too late, no problem. Amir Bhai is here, mashallah. Please give our intentions, our dear intention. Let's give our dates to Amir Bhai and let's travel on Madani Kafila, inshallah. صلوا على الحبيب صلى الله تعالى على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم صلاة وسلام عليك يا سيدي يا حبيبي يا رسول الله. The saints of Islam have quoted that whoever recites this salawat at least once on the night between Thursday and Friday on a regular basis will be blessed with the vision of Aqā sallallahu alayhi wa sallam at the time of his death. They will even see him when they are buried in the grave, to the extent that they will see Aqā sallallahu alayhi wa sallam lowering him into the grave. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammadin al-Nabiyyi al-Ummi al-Habibi al-Ali al-Qadri al-Azimi al-Jah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim. It is narrated by Hazrat Sayyidina Anas radiallahu ta'ala that Aqā sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has stated, whoever reads the following salawat upon Aqā sallallahu alayhi wa sallam while standing, then before sitting, his sins will be forgiven. And if he reads it while sitting, then before standing, all his sins will be forgiven. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sallim. 70 doors of mercy are open for the one who recites the following salawat. Sallallahu ala Muhammad. Shaykh Ahmad Sawi rahmatullahi ta'ala reports from some saints of Islam that by reciting the following salawat once, a person attains the reward of reciting salawat 600,000 times. Subhanallah. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin adada ma fi ilmillahi salatan daimatan bidawami mulkillah. Once a person came to the court of Aqā sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made the person sit between him and Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala. When the person got up to leave, Sahaba Ikram were amazed who this personality is. Aqā sallallahu alayhi wa sallam explained that this person, when he recites salawat upon me, he does it in the following manner. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin kama tuhibbu wa tarda. The Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has stated, my shafa'at, my intercession becomes necessary, becomes wajib for the one who recites the following salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa anzilhu al-maq'ada al-muqarraba indaka yawm al-qiyamah. It is narrated by Hazrat Sayyidina Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala that the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has stated, whoever recites the following dua, 70 angels write good deeds for 1,000 days. Subhanallah. Jazallahu anna Muhammadan ma huwa ahlu. The Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, whoever recites this dua 3 times, it is as if he has found the night of Qadr, Laylatul Qadr. La ilaha illallah al-Halim al-Karim Subhanallah Rabbis samawati as-sab'i wa Rabbil arshil azim. La ilaha illallah al-Halim al-Karim Subhanallah Rabbis samawati السبع ورب العرش العظيم. لا إله إلا الله الحليم الكريم. سبحان الله رب السماوات السبع ورب العرش العظيم. صلوا على الحبيب.
صلوا على الحبيب صلى الله عليه وعلى محمد. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا رسول الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا حبيب الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نبي الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نور الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا رسول الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا حبيب الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نبي الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نور الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا رسول الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا حبيب الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نبي الله وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا نور الله. حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله. نور محمد صلى الله. لا إله إلا 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 الله. لا إله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم. إلا الله 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 You have bestowed special favor upon us to be here in the Masjid. That is with your tawfiq, with your special favor, Ya Allah, you called us tonight in your house to make your zikr. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, تیری یہ خاص توفیق ہے اے مولا، تیری رحمت عظمیٰ کا ساتھ ہوا تو آج ہم تیرے گھر میں تیری توفیق سے بیٹھے ہوئے تیری پاک بارگاہ میں دعا مانگ رہے ہیں۔ اے مولا عز و جل، چاہیے تو یہ تھا کہ شکرانے میں تیری ہر نعمت کا شکر ادا کرتے۔ اے مولا چاہیے تو یہ تھا کہ جس طرح سے تو نے ہماری ضرورتوں کا خیال رکھا، ہماری ہر تکلیف میں اے مولا عز و جل تو نے اس کا مداوع کیا، چاہیے تو یہ تھا کہ ہر لقمے کے عوض، ہر نعمت کے عوض، بلکہ ہر سانس کے عوض تیرا شکر بجا لاتے، مگر افسوس کہ آج ہم تیری دی ہوئی نعمتیں تو کھاتے ہیں، ان سے استفادہ تو کرتے ہیں اے مولا، لیکن ان تمام نعمتوں کے ہوتے ہوئے اے مولا عز و جل آج ہم دین کے راستے سے دور ہیں۔ اے مولا ہمیں سوتے سوتے ہماری نمازیں قضا ہو جاتی ہیں، فجر کی نماز چلی جاتی ہے، اسی طرح سے بزنس کے دوران، کام کے دوران ظہر کی نماز کا بھی خیال نہیں رہتا، طرح کے ہیلے بہانے ہوتے ہیں کہ نماز کی جگہ نہیں، وضو کا پانی نہیں، سجدہ کھانا ٹھیک نہیں، میرا جسم پاک نہیں، میرے کپڑے پاک نہیں، لیکن یہ کیسے لین ایکسکیوزز ہیں مولا تیری پاک بارگاہ میں، تو ہم دلوں کے حال جاننے والا ہے۔ اس طرح سے عصر کی نماز، مغرب کی نماز، عشاء کی نماز تک قضا کر ڈالتے ہیں۔ حضرت امام شافعی سیوطی رحمۃ اللہ تعالی علیہ فرماتے ہیں کہ مومن اور کافر کے درمیان واحد فرق نماز ہے۔ اے مولا عز و جل یا رحمین، ہم اپنی نمازوں سے غافل رہے، ہم نے سن رکھا ہے کہ تباہی ہے، بربادی ہے ان لوگوں کے لیے کہ جو اپنی نمازوں کو بھلا بیٹھے ہیں۔ اے مولا عز و جل، آج خدا نہ خواستہ نماز چھوڑنے کے سبب جب نمازی بے نمازی کو قبر میں اس گنہگار کو دفنایا جائے گا تو اس کی قبر کی دونوں دیواریں آپس میں پیوست ہو جائیں گی، جس کی وجہ سے اس کی پسلیاں بھی ٹوٹ کر آپس میں دیواریں ملنے کے بعد اس کی پسلیاں بھی ٹوٹ جائیں گی۔ اے مولا عز و جل، بے نمازی کی قبر میں ایک ایسا سانپ مسلط کیا جائے گا جس کا نام ہے اشجاع الاقرا، جو ایک مرتبہ انسان کو ڈسے گا تو انسان 70 گز زمین میں ڈھس جائے گا اور اس کا زہر تا قیامت اس شخص بے نمازی کے جسم میں جوش مارتا رہے گا۔ اے مولا عز و جل یا رحمین، نہ جانے انجانے میں اے مولا جان بوجھ کر ہم نے کتنی نمازیں قضا کر ڈالی۔ اے مولا عز و جل، اگر خدا نہ خواستہ اگر ہمیں نمازیں چھوڑنے کے سبب قبر کا عذاب ہوا تو کیسے برداشت کر پائیں گے اے مولا؟ اے مولا عز و جل، ہمارا جسم تو بڑا نازک و ناتواں ہے، اے مولا مچھر مکھی کا کاٹنا برداشت نہیں ہوتا، اے مولا عز و جل قبر کا عذاب کیوں کر برداشت ہوگا؟ اے مولا عز و جل تیری پاک بارگاہ میں اے مولا آج سچی پکی توبہ کرتے ہیں۔ اے مولا تم نے ہی ہمیں ہر چیز کی توفیق دی ہے، اے مولا یہ توفیق ہم سے جدا نہ کرنا، اے مولا یہ توفیق ہم سے چھین نہ دینا، جس سے توفیق چھن جاتی ہے روایتوں میں آتا ہے کہ تو جس سے بھلائی کا ارادہ فرماتا ہے اس کو نیکی کے راستے میں چلا دیتا ہے، اس کو نیکی کے کاموں والوں میں ڈال دیتا ہے۔ اے مولا عز و جل، اور جس سے تو عذاب دینا چاہتا ہے اسے دین سے دور فرما دیتا ہے، اسے برے کاموں میں الجھا دیتا ہے اور موت کے وقت اس کا ایمان سلب کر دیا جاتا ہے۔ اے مولا عز و جل، تو ہم سب سے عافیت والا معاملہ فرما دے۔ اے مولا تو ہم سب کے صغیرہ کبیرہ گناہوں کو معاف فرما دے۔ اے مولا مجمعنا نماز پڑھنے والا بنا دے۔
نیکیاں کرنے والا نیکیوں کو پھیلانے والا بنا دے، گناہوں سے بچنے والا دوسروں کو بچانے والا بنا دے، نیکی کی دعوت عام کرنے والا بنا دے، مدنی قافلوں میں سفر کرنے والا بنا دے۔ اے مولا ضرور ہم سب کے گھروں پر خوشی رحمتوں برکتوں کا نزول فرما، جو تکالیف آفتیں مصیبتیں بیماریاں پریشانیاں اے مولا تو سب کے ناموں سے سب کے کاموں سے سب کی حاجتوں سے واقف ہے، اے مولا سب کی قرضداریاں دور فرماتے ہو، جو آفت ٹوٹے بیماری کا شکار ہے سب کو رہائی عطا فرما۔ اے مولا ازل مرنے سے پہلے تو ہم سب کو حج کی سعادت عطا فرما، میٹھا میٹھا پیارا پیارا مدینہ بھی دکھا، ایمان و عافیت کے ساتھ مدینہ پاک میں شہادت کی موت، جنت البقیع میں مدفن اور جنت الفردوس میں نبی کریم صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم کا پڑوس عطا فرما۔ کہتے رہتے ہیں دعا کے واسطے بندے تیرے کرتے پوری عادت بھر بے کس و مجبور کی، ان اللہ ملائکتہ یصلون علی النبی یا ایھا الذین آمنوا صلوا علیہ وسلموا تسلیما، اللهم صل علی سیدنا و مولانا محمد النبی صلاۃ و سلام علیک یا سیدی یا رسول اللہ بحق لا الہ الا اللہ۔
اے شہنشاہ مدینہ الصلاۃ والسلام زینت عرش مولا، الصلاۃ والسلام مومنوں پڑھتے
سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.